Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dude No Metagaming Episode 5. I am Jaime, and I'm here with my good friend Scotty.
That's me.
I'm good with my good friend Eric,
Howdy.
and the lovely couple, Steven,
Hello.
and his wife Kaylee.
Hey.
Now, let's get into the good stuff. Got
Yeah, the
some good
good stuff.
topics? Let's do it.
That was the good stuff. It's all downhill from here.
It is.
Yep.
We
Once,
lied to you.
yeah, the great intro, but it's all down here. That was scripted, and that's the only thing scripted about the podcast. We have a big teleprompter in front of Jaime.
Dude, you're not supposed to tell them my secrets. Now they'll
No, it's
know I
okay.
never asked.
It's all right. You can't read.
That is very true. It's a bunch of it's cartoons playing in the background.
Um, but yeah, we're gonna get into nitty gritty, but yeah, it's Kaylee's first time on the podcast. Just wanted to.
That is
I don't know if
true.
I don't know if I've put the let's play out yet. I think this will come out before the Joking Hazard one, but we had a lot of fun playing Joking Hazard, and I hope this is just as fun. So let's get into the meat of the podcast by talking about uh, let's talk about the campaign we're running now currently, our main campaign, and our current characters. Um, Anybody want to take a stab at just describing the setting? We're playing a game using D20 Modern, which is essentially 3.5.
Isn't it like? Correct me if I'm wrong. Please don't let me be wrong. Isn't it like cyberpunkish?
Not cyberpunk, steampunkish.
Steampunk. That's the one.
Yeah,
I was
steampunk,
close.
clockwork punk. You get points for trying.
Thanks. I'll pat myself on the back now.
But yeah, it's like a western cyberpunk. Or not, God, you got me going cyberpunk, Jaime. It's a western
Sorry.
steampunk, clockwork punk campaign, and the only thing I had all their characters have in common is that they're part of a group of characters called the Pinkertons, who are basically monster hunters and I think monster hunters slash specters from Mass Effect, or like Jedi kind of. They kind of have above the law qualities about them. And let's go down the board. Let's start with Jaime, since you introduced the podcast. You want to talk about your character? Give us a name and some backstory and like his class and what he is.
Um, my dude's name is Doc Mad Mardigan. Before you ask, yes, it's named after two characters played by Val Kilmer, who is one of my favorite actors. Mad Mardigan, being from Willow, and Doc, as in Doc Holliday, and from Tombstone. If people didn't get that, my guy is an adventurer, and he's like a little middle-aged dude, and looks pretty rugged. Full Western style cowboy hat. Not tuxedo style wise, but wears all dark clothing and then has a big old coat. So he fits the part of like a what do you call it? Outlaw? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I think so. Desperado.
Yeah. But he's the complete opposite. My guy is very for the law. Justice is everything to my character.
Okay, nice. What class did you go with?
Um, I can't remember actually. Well, I can't remember the actual name of it. I'm an adventurer.
That's your background, but didn't you go like fast hero or
Tough hero.
tough
Thank
hero?
you for saying hero. Yeah, I'm tough hero.
Yeah, D20 Modern uses fast hero, strong hero, tough hero. There's a hero for each of the six characteristics: strength, dex, int, wiscon, charisma. Um, Speaking of tough heroes, Steven is also playing a tough hero, if I'm not
Yes, I
mistaken.
am.
Want to tell us a
That is
little bit
correct.
about your character?
Yeah, his name's Virgil Wesson. I kind of base him off, or at least the way he looks, kind of off of Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2. And I don't want to go too much into his backstory because not really anything's been revealed yet. But if you see him, he's pretty much covered in bandage wraps. You don't see his face or nothing, except maybe his eyes peeking through. Um, and it's kind of hard to explain him because I'm still kind of learning the character, like as I play him. But he's kind of sarcastic. Um, he's got some dry humor, and he's kind of serious because he's old. It's kind of a mix of all those things. Yeah, but I really enjoy playing him. He's fun.
Nice.
Yeah, and he tends to be a sniper, so he keeps to the back lines as much as possible.
Yes, that is also true. A
But
tough sniper.
but he carries a boomstick just in case things get up close and personal.
Yep, and I have a knife as well, though. That wouldn't do a whole lot with my strength being as bad as it is.
What is it, like 10 or 12?
I think it's either 0 or 1 for the modifier.
Yeah. Which isn't bad, it's just average.
It's 0, yeah.
But yeah, that's Steven's character. Kaylee, you want to talk a little bit about Agatha?
Sure. Agatha, she's a very built, given she's a blue collar construction worker, and she's very talented in her craft. She's a little bit awkward socially, but she's confident when she knows what's going on, and likes to have a tendency to Hulk smash like the evil creatures with her kanabo. That's her like little trait that she likes to do, because she's more of like upfront and personal, not someone behind the scenes.
Yeah, she's very in your face. And you're a fast hero?
Yeah.
Yeah. She has like the highest AC, I think, if I'm not mistaken, out of the whole party.
Could be.
Something like 22 or something.
Um.
It's something silly.
Yeah. It's 23.
Yeah, see, it's fucking ridiculous. Eric, do you want to go into your character?
Yeah. I have a clockwork construct named Luther Ulysses Clarington. This. Yeah. The idea was to have a robot created around the time that, or sorry, a steam clock clockwork construct. There we go. That's what it's called. Clockwork construct created near the time when they were first invented. But to have him be just this ailing blacksmith's essentially his hands doing all the detailed work as he got older and older and wasn't able to manipulate things as well as he could. But in the lore of the setting, there's an uprising against clockwork constructs, right?
Yeah, it happened like 50 years ago. Or no, it happened like, it wasn't
It
too
was
long ago, like 20 years ago.
Was it the... no, that's the industrialists. But yeah, anyways. So, he's just been around a long time and makes weapons. So he started off as a strong hero, one, because I have a weapon like the Beast Cutter from Bloodborne, if anybody's familiar. But it's essentially like a bladed whip, but instead of being just like a blade,
Or
it's like these like metal chunks
yeah,
with like like almost like a serrated claw or fang thing on them.
yeah, or I
But-
think it's Zabimaru from Bleach, if you're familiar with anime.
Yes, yeah, it's similar to that. Yep.
Heal.
No, not
Yep,
Hiro.
yep.
The original Zabumaru,
You know,
Hishike.
I just wanted to say it.
It is fun to say.
Yeah.
But I went into Smart Hero after that because I wanted it to fit my character as like a mechanist, a gunsmith. And then from there I went into Techie, which allows me to do jury rigging, which I think is really awesome. I haven't found a good opportunity to use it yet, but I would like to. And then, right, yeah. After this, I'm going to go into Archaic Weapon Master, or I forget. It's something along those lines. But and have it specialize in the beast cutter. Yeah,
That'd be really dope.
right.
And yeah, clockwork constructs are basically robots. They're steam-powered constructs. A few Daniel's character, who's been on the podcast before. Daniel's character is also a clockwork construct. He's a charismatic hero. He's supposed to be like the face of the group. But
Is he now?
Supposed to be.
yeah, you
when,
can
when he's not dying.
Yeah.
you can take the party's reaction to him being the air quotes face. And then his wife Chanel, who's also been on the podcast, she's basically a tinkerer. She's like a mechanic, and she's super for clockwork constructs having rights as sentient beings, which is accepted some places and not other places. So it creates that like old school like air quotes fantasy racism, as Eric likes to say. Because I just think that's an interesting dynamic. Because if robots did become sentient, holy fuck, would we just let them get all the rights we have? Like,
No.
I don't know. It's an interesting dilemma. That's why I like having it in my world. I think horrible things can tell cool stories.
Yeah, it's a layer of complexity, and it's something that a lot of us have been around or probably witnessed in our lives at one point or another.
Yeah, so it's nice to see it and be able to react to it in a way, in a heroic way, because your
Yeah.
character can physically do something about it. Like they got fantasy racism at a gunsmith store, and they basically like strong armed the guy into dealing with clockwork constructs, and it was just fun to see them just give that guy the finger, basically.
Yeah.
So it's
I
fun
remember
to,
that.
yeah. Even Jaime's character, Doc, who doesn't particularly like Daniel's character, Albatross, even was like, hey, don't do that.
Don't do it. Don't make me going down.
Don't make me go to this dark place.
You wouldn't like me when I'm dark.
Um, so let's running with characters that are in this the world I call Zephyr. Starting with nobody in particular, Steven. Who in the party would your character prioritize rescuing in dire circumstances? Albatross,
Ooh.
Violet, Doc, Agatha, or Luther?
It would be, oh man, which one is Chanel's character again?
Violet.
The mechanic.
Yeah, but her Violet, probably her because she's a medic. So she'd probably be the first one I would try to bring up, and she's also a mechanic. So, or she's working to be a medic, and she's a mechanic. So, logically, that'd be his first option. Thinking about help for taking care of people.
He says in front of his wife.
That's fair. I respect
I
that.
mean,
Guys, is it too late to change my answer?
help me.
Alrighty.
I think I heard a belt. Run.
Kaylee, who would you, Agatha, rescue in dire circumstances?
Mm, I don't. It definitely would not be Albatross. We've saved him too many times.
I love how the buck and don't hate
Um,
carries over.
He knows I do it out of love. Either that or he's rolling his eyes at me. Probably Violet, because she always heals me.
Damn, that's 2 votes for Violet. Shit, I was gonna listen to this and be
Care by
blushing.
boo-boos.
Oh, stop it.
Um, Eric, who would Luther rescue?
That's another vote for Violet.
Because she can work on clockwork constructs and people.
Yeah, the capacity for camaraderie and also like competition is pretty high among Luther and Violet. That's something that he really appreciates.
Damn. She's like the most popular character. Okay. Doc, is it another vote for Violet?
That is a no. That's a hard no. I would rescue myself.
You
No,
can't
I would,
rescue yourself, you
another-
You save yourself.
I thought I would give it a shot.
you selfish prick.
Myself, also being a sniper, I would go for Virgil.
Hell yeah.
Having 2 snipers comes in fucking clutch.
Yeah.
And then for
So we can let
Agatha.
everybody, we can let people, like when we're fighting the big water worm. Me and Virgil were on top doing lookout, and we were doing pretty good teamwork while people were at the bottom.
No, you were up top, but I was deep in the forest. We had 2 different angles on it.
But we were far away.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I'd probably
Oh,
go. I would go with Virgil.
I guess Agatha doesn't get any love.
No.
Even though she takes a lot of the grunt.
Luther does too. Nobody said Luther.
True.
Luther be chopping dudes in half and shit.
Yeah.
I choose Luther.
Whee!
Wow, nobody said dog.
Alrighty.
Doesn't Doc have TB or something?
No. Why would you say that?
You're
The real-
thinking
I
of
the
thought
real
you were
Doc Holliday
copying
does.
his Doc Holiday. Were you not doing that part as well?
No, that's why it's Doc Mad Mardigan.
Okay.
I'm about to disappear from my children.
So let's go into the next question, keeping with your characters. We got one more, keeping in line with the characters, then we'll move out of it. But if your character wasn't an adventurer / Pinkerton in the world of Zephyr, what livelihood would they lead? Luther.
Oh, before becoming a Pinkerton, Luther was a handyman for, I mean, for how old he is? He's 97. Yeah, for the majority of his existence, he was a handyman.
So he would just continue doing that.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. That's
Easy
a good
enough.
solid living.
Yeah, right.
Nice and safe. Something they would trust a clockwork construct to do.
Yeah, he's kind of tired of conflict. He inherited his creator's like weaponsmithy, but it was bought out from under him during the Ironheart incident in 80 AC.
Yes, sir. Yeah. See, he remembers.
I do.
Doc Mad Mardigan, what kind of life would he lead?
My guy would have been a gunsmith.
Nice.
Would have just had a gun shop in a
Yep.
small town, big town?
Big town.
The big
Big town.
city boy?
The dude is, he's good at his stuff.
Would he
And by
ever
dude, I mean me.
like sell his gun out or something? Like take on mercenary work, or would he just stick to just working on guns?
He would just stick to fixing guns.
Okay.
He'd probably be tempted to it, but he would just he would I would assume he'd make a decent, good living just doing that. That he wouldn't need the mercenary jobs.
No, gunsmithing is lucrative work. World's a dangerous place. Um, Agatha, what would she be doing if she wasn't a Pinkerton? Would she just go back to construction work?
Since it's her company, she would, because she sees her crew like her family, and she would just be doing it in terms of obviously pay and her income, but like to help the community improve.
Very cool. So she'd do her construction work, but also do like philanthropy work and stuff.
Yes, because she has a heart.
We just haven't seen it yet.
Behind that huge muscular
Because I've
chest.
been too busy killing evildoers.
Hey, killing evil is
It's
showing your
hard,
good
man.
heart.
See?
Ask any paladin.
He says I'm part paladin.
Everybody's got lawful good in them, whether you like it or not.
Doc.
Steven, what kind
Oh, my
of
character's good.
life would Virgil lead?
He's kind of a survivalist, so he would probably just live out the rest of his days out in the middle of nowhere. Because he doesn't like people knowing who he is or what he's about, so he kind of likes just being a recluse. And he'd probably start trying to raise horses. He has an interest in that, so which is new to him. But yeah, out in the middle of nowhere.
Just disappear, get off the grid.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, fair enough. And last question, we'll start with you, Steven, since you ended the last one. How far is your character willing to go to pursue the greater good, if he believes in the greater good at all?
I'm trying to remember I haven't looked at his thing in a while.
What is
What are they
allegiances?
called? Tenants or whatever they're called.
Allegiances?
Yeah, there we go. The only time he would really try to pursue the greater good is when it comes to like wildlife. Like he wants to protect wildlife. Outside of that, he would rather he'll pursue the greater good, but at the same time, he's going to make sure he stays alive. Like he cares about living. For some reason, he cares about living more than actually freaking doing what's right. If it's push comes to shove. But when it comes to wildlife, he'll do anything.
So if the nearby city was under siege, he was not gonna strap his gun on
He would
and go
help.
and rescue people, or would
Yeah,
he
he
just
would-
be like, fuck it?
Yeah, he would help, but if it gets to a point where he's like, I don't see how I'm going to get out of this, he's going to get out of there. Unless there's somebody he knew specifically that he figures might need help, then depends how much he likes the person.
That's fair enough. I like that he's got that self-preservation kind of thing going on, because you
Yeah,
don't
he
see it a
doesn't even
lot
know.
in D&D. Most people are just like, I'm heroic, I'm just gonna go save people, when it's like sometimes shit hits the fan, you need to just be like, I'm out of here, baby.
No.
Yeah, and he's surprised by it himself. He's not sure why he has this will to live. It's just kind of a thing that eats at him, in the back of his mind.
He lives out of spite.
Yes.
Luther, how far is Luther willing to go to pursue the greater good? If there's some unspeakable horror threatening the world, how far would he go to do the right thing and serve the greater good?
I figured Luther's allegiances would kind of be like directives. So he has survive, design, and assist for his 3 allegiances.
So that kind of falls in line with Virgil a bit. Because, I mean,
Yeah,
assist, you would do your best to assist people,
right. Yeah,
organics, but at the same time, you have to survive yourself.
yeah. I'm like having a hard time thinking of situations where might be presented with different options based on these allegiances. But my that's my idea. I would have these three.
Okay. Doc, how far you go? How far would you go to do the greater good?
I'd go as far as killing. Like for example, well, my guy kills people anyways, but people that don't deserve it, obviously my guy doesn't go for it. People that deserve it, my guy does kill enemies, creatures. But say if in a scenario, Albatross, Luther, somebody would cross over the team, kind of thing, like kind of deal, my guy would go up to that point. Like to preserve justice, my guy would be capable of killing somebody close to make sure that everything still falls in line.
Jeez, so he's a hardliner.
Lawful evil.
Eric,
Hey, that doesn't exist. It's allegiances, okay? Shades of gray, shades of gray. Um, Agatha, how far is she willing to go to pursue the greater good?
She kind of falls in between where Virgil and Doc are, where she's got a lot of impulse due to her allegiances. Like she wants law and order. If she feels like her family or friends are threatened, she'll jump into action. And even with the wildlife too, is like she'll take stuff for her construction company, so she wants to give back in any way she can. So she feels like they're threatened, she'll do what it takes there as well. But like obviously within reason.
Okay. I like the broad spectrum that everybody has. I like Agatha's Heart of Gold. I just picture this big beefy person. Just you expect them to just like brain people, and they do, and then it's just like she's getting a kitten out of a tree in like the next scene.
Yep. Because I need that tree for wood.
Screw the kitten. I just need the wood.
Just punch the tree. That's how it works in Minecraft, right?
And send the kitten flying. Right now.
Let's move into stuff outside of our personal game. We'll probably talk about our games more in the future, but let's talk about a roundtable to nobody in particular. So just first person to talk, just go for it. How would you describe tabletop RPGs to somebody unfamiliar with the concept?
Imagination.
Yeah. A world of freedom.
Math, imagination, fantasy.
Role play with action figures.
I guess do we have to explain what role playing is?
And not
Probably.
the kinky one.
Yes,
Yeah.
you probably would have to explain somebody who is unfamiliar with it. Because then you could just point at it's like, what's D&D? It's like, oh, it's role playing.
Yeah, but okay, at what? It's role play.
Yeah, the first question was a role playing game. But
I feel like to do it properly, it's a very complex answer.
I'm gonna have to have you sit down for a second
Get out a notebook and pencil.
and get ready
Here's
to
my
learn.
whiteboard. 10
Yeah, it's-
hours later.
Basically, it's such a hard thing to describe because you can basically just say, like Steven, like imagination, fantasy, and math and dice.
Yeah.
And people will be like, wait, what?
It could be anything you want it to be, controlled by the roll of a die.
Yeah.
It's just not LARPing.
Yeah.
No,
Then you have to explain that, and I don't want to explain that.
those are nerds.
Doing it live in person.
Playing dress up.
Only nerds LARP. Sorry, that's me being a jerk. Um,
One of my best friends does it.
Nerd.
nerd. Um, I just couldn't. It would just take me back to the days of being on a fucking playground and being like, I cut you. Actually, I have a force field up.
Yep.
Actually, my plus
Actually.
one sword cuts through the force field. Actually, my skin is also have stone skin cast, so I reduce the damage. It's like no,
Your imagination has limits.
exactly. Like fuck off, fuck LARPing, dude. Ain't about it. Like I just evolved into hating on LARPing. We talked about that in a former podcast.
Really?
I think so about LARPing. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had the exact same opinion on it. uh, how do we feel about when people say let's play D&D and that meaning tabletop in general? Like, say we were playing Star Wars and it's just like, guys, let's are we doing D&D this Sunday? Like, how do you feel about that? Does that bother you in any way, or is that just the accepted nomenclature now that it's just interchangeably just tabletop is D&D now?
You mean how we feel about it being called D&D?
About how it's used interchangeably with just tabletop in general. Like,
Gotcha. Kind of like boogie boards for body boards, that kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Skateboard for longboard.
Yeah. Okay. I don't mind it. I mean, I understand what it means. It doesn't bug me at all. I mean, I grew up learning it as D&D, so it it doesn't bug me because that's how I've learned what it was under
I
that
think
name.
I think it comes down more to like a personal preference of what you wanted to get called.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like the only people that would be bugged by it were the people who grew up like only like hearing it called tabletop and
Yeah.
not really learning it as D&D.
I don't mind it. I just call it D&D because it's shorter.
That's what I think it boils down to is it's just shorter and easier to say. And like, are we doing D&D today rather than, are we playing D20 Modern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
D&D is more widely known. Like if you say D&D, people will hear that. If you try to say like TBT, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
It sounds like TV.
Yeah, even at work when it comes up, people are like, "What are you doing tonight?" It's like I say, even if I'm playing Marvel or we're playing D20 Modern, I say D&D.
Mhm.
So it doesn't bother me. It's just, I think that's just evolution of things. It just
Yeah.
becomes so popular that you just accept it. It's like parents calling video game consoles Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta turn off that damn Nintendo.
Mom, it's
What?
not a Nintendo. It's a Sony. I don't care.
Playing on PC, you gotta turn off your Nintendo. What?
Are you winning, son?
Are you
I
winning?
can't save. I'm not at a save point. That was the
Can you
worst playing JRPGs as a kid. Playing Final Fantasy VII and being in like Gaia's Glacier, and you're just like 45 minutes from a save point and a boss away,
Yeah.
and it's like turn it off. It's like,
I don't want it.
I can't. I'm gonna lose like an hour.
Yeah, my mom learned how that worked when she got into playing Spyro, and instead of saving, she would just leave it on constantly.
Just burn the
Well.
disc reader out.
Yeah, pretty much.
The days before a memory card.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just think it's just the easiest shorthand is just D&D is tabletop now, and I think it's gonna stay that way.
Yeah, and like I said, more people are going to understand what you're talking about if you bring it up.
I mean, unless you play something super obscure like Shadowrun or some shit.
Yeah.
Um, which I hear only gets worse and worse with each edition.
Really?
But I don't keep up too much with it. I follow the subreddit and I see like discussions about it. And I'm like, people don't even like fourth what we played before. And I was
Really?
like, I like four. Like apparently like third is where it's at, but fuck learning
Have we
a whole
played
new
third before?
No, we've only played fourth edition Shadowrun.
Oh.
And I refuse to go back and learn another edition of Shadowrun. That game's crunchy enough as it is. I think it's crunchy as Jiffy Crunchy peanut butter, dude.
I love crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah,
It's
I love
delicious.
crunchy peanut butter too, but it's fucking. Sometimes I want smooth peanut butter.
What about these?
Let's go back into each person as they answer kind of thing, and I'll just answer at the end since I'm the host. Can failing be more fun than succeeding, Eric?
Yeah, I think so. As long as it leads to interesting gameplay, like it doesn't. I don't want to say it should matter because succeeding feels good, but yeah, failing's fine.
Yeah, obviously, succeeding is preferred, but it's not to say that the failing is necessarily the end of the world unless it's like literally a life and death scenario.
Right? Yeah,
But
but I mean,
that
even
can
then, it's like one, it's experiential, so even you playing the game, it's just part of playing the game, and it should be fun in and of itself, in my opinion. Either if you enjoy the game or not, but even in game, like if you fail your character, it's it's literally like just building character for the interactions you have between the other players and whatnot, and all the different NPCs. It matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Jaime, can failing be more fun than succeeding?
Yes, absolutely. Because sometimes it creates for a funny scenario, and you get to learn from your mistakes, which sometimes creates, it ignites that little spark in your creative cap, and then you can think of a way better plan, and sometimes that plan does come into view better, and it'll make for good role playing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it can lead to just as many interesting role playing opportunities as succeeding does, in my opinion. Um, Steven, how do you feel about succeeding? Can it be more fun than or failing? Can failing be more fun than succeeding?
Oh, definitely. When it happens a lot, it's probably not as fun for the person who keeps failing. but
Sure.
for the people around them, it's hilarious, which also makes for good stories and good times.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
still
it sure
talk
is
about
fun for the table.
Yeah, I still talk about Daniel's character deaths all the time,
Yeah.
including his most recent one. Um,
Gosh,
but yeah,
Daniel needs to pick a different kind of character to play.
For the
I don't
scenario,
think it's the
It's the
character's
character.
fault.
I just think he needs to reevaluate how he plays the characters.
Correct.
yeah, he does
Daniel,
kind of play his guys as
preferred
a kind of headstrong.
But that, or he just doesn't think about the situation and just rushes headlong in. Like the most recent time he died, he jumped across the hole and there was someone standing there. So he runs into him and falls back into the hole.
Yep.
That wasn't even his character's fault. It's just him not paying attention.
Yeah, I tried to jump. The two squares on the other side of the hole are occupied.
Yeah.
Jump's not hard. You make it, but you bump and fall backwards.
So yeah, failing can lead to some funny shit. So just like Jaime said, funny situations, and yeah, it can be frustrating, but in the long run, it's worth it because it makes stories.
The good outlook.
Yeah,
General consensus almost. I have a feeling it's going to continue. Kaylee, can failing be more fun than succeeding?
No.
No? Wow, really?
Contrarian.
The perfectionist in me wants to succeed. And I get frustrated, especially when certain characters die all the time. And then we revive them all the time.
I
So,
wonder
no.
who that is.
I plead the
Please
fifth.
do tell.
Wow.
But like in other situations, like where it's not a life or death, then yes, it can be funny. But the perfectionist in me just wants to win.
You want to roll nat 20s all night?
Yes. Not the low ballers I've been rolling.
Yeah. The like running joke. There's like running jokes at the table, like every table has. There's a few at our table. One, I always critical Steven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always crit Steven. And two, Kaylee, when she rolls low, she continues to roll low all night.
Mm-hmm.
And no joke, she rolled like in sequence once. She rolled like it was like 4,
2,
5, 6.
3. Yeah.
And it was just like I was like, "Are you serious?" And she's like, "Yes." Um,
I should have got a lottery ticket that night. Maybe I would have been a winner there.
jumping from that, or well, we're gonna jump into the next topic from that point. But to me, I'm in line with the majority here. I think failing can be more fun than succeeding sometimes. If again, kind of like Hale says, the scenario, like life and death, obviously it's terrible and horrible. But even then, after the fact, it's funny. So I kind of go back and forth. So like, it depends. It's very scenario specific. Sometimes it just flat sucks. It sucks. Like the healer gets finger of death and just dies. It's like, well, shit, fuck.
Oh well.
That just sucks. There's nothing funny about it. I mean, you'll laugh when he's res later, but in the time it sucks. But yeah, it's scenario specific. I like it. But speaking of constantly rolling low, how do you handle bad rolling days, Steven? Days when you can't like roll above a 5.
I find things I don't care about and I throw them across the room, avoiding other things I do not care about.
I love that answer.
I do my best to suffer in silence and make jokes when I can because I am dying inside when that happens. Like if it's consistently happening.
We've all had those days. That happens. Anybody listening, you've had that day when you can't get above a 5 and you're just like, fuck, I hate this day. This
Why
sucks.
me? Why
I'm not even having a good time.
me? I'm not even having fun anymore.
Kaylee, how do you handle days when you just can't roll high?
I drink.
I was about to say wine.
And I take it out on other characters. Sarcastically, of course.
Yeah, she never physically beats anybody yet.
Guys, I need help.
There's been a couple not you.
She beats me.
I was about to say there's been a couple close calls, then you added that, and that just changed the whole what is the tune of things.
Steven just made it real. So yeah, she drinks her woes away. Eric, how do you deal with days like that when you just you're rolling more nat 1s than you're rolling fucking 10s?
Man.
Cry.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Well, I mean, it'll pass. Everything has to pass. So,
You just,
withstand until it's gone, I guess.
you just take it on the chin and keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eric's right. I mean, shitty rolls got to come up before good rolls come up.
Yeah. And they won't feel good unless you've had something shitty.
It's kind of like beating a Bloodborne boss after. It's kind of like beating Orphan of Kos after beating your head against the wall for an hour. It's like it finally feels good. It's like, man, I did that.
I did it. I did it.
I did it. Praise the sun.
Cooperation.
And that wouldn't feel as good as if you just aced them on the first try. Jaime, how do you deal with bad rolling days?
I just switched sets.
You just switch dice sets and hope for the best?
He's got
If
plenty
I-
to choose from.
I do. I now have 59 sets.
Jaime, again, a resident dice goblin.
Ching ching. I am still looking for that perfect set to complete the 60.
I
It's
still
kind of hard
need
when you have too many though. Because
I
you know
need
what you
a
have.
I need a stone set, a gem set, and a wood set, and I will have every aside from bone, which I'm never getting because they're $3,000 a set.
Never say never.
I still have a glass set saved that I'm eventually gonna get.
Ooh.
I love my glass set. Now that I have my dice tray, I can actually use them.
I just like anything sparkly.
Yeah, but I'll try a different set. If after the fourth roll, it's not I don't see it get better, then I just go back with the other one and hope for the best. But 8 out of 10 times after the second roll, it does get better.
Dude, I'm with Eric. I just kind of just grin and bear it.
Yeah.
Just kind
I
of,
mean, what else is there to do?
yeah,
Complain?
like, well, shit, it's gonna be one of those days. I'm more careful in what I do. I will say that if I'm rolling shit all night, I will be way more careful in what I'm doing. I'll take less risks
Daniel, pay attention.
just because, like, maybe I won't jump that chasm on a day when I can't roll above a 5. But aside from that, I just, yeah, take it on the chin. Just, whoa, shake it off. Shake off the dust.
Hmm.
Twin
I mean,
that
it's
20's
definitely a
coming up.
bummer if that's all you've been doing for an entire play session.
Oh no, you feel like shit the entire time. It sucks. It's
Yeah.
never, it's not fun. Rolling a nat 1 in a session is funny and fun, but
Yeah.
rolling 10 nat 1s in a session sucks.
Somebody's fell on the chasm to your right. Roll to try and save them, and that person's relying on you to get a high roll. And, oh, bro, dude, I fucking rolled a 1. Like
It's like it
that.
makes you
That's
want
when
to
you
flip a
feel
table.
bad. Yeah. You're like, oh, dude, I could have saved him. I could have been the hero.
Could have been worse. Could have been you.
It could have been me. Yeah.
But it was better. It was just Daniel.
With that
Yeah.
one, I go to try and catch him. I slip and I fall forward to. Oh fuck!
Take that 3d6 falling damage that killed him. That dummy. He has like the lowest health too. Because he calculated it wrong.
Like he calculated his money wrong in Monopoly.
That fucker.
Peter does that fucking like almost $2,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely baffled how he had so much money. That makes
And he
no
doesn't want to
sense.
sell anything. That's why we can't finish that fucking game.
We're going on about I wish we would have been recording it from the start. Like this game of Monopoly we've been playing in Tabletop Simulator where Daniel's a fucking cheat and scammed the bank me out of $900 because he can't keep track of his money.
Jeez.
Hey Scotty, can I have $900 for that money
$904.
that I misplaced? What do you mean?
Yeah. Bank's bailing this bitch out. What the fuck?
That's called robbery.
It was. He just didn't have a gun. So he goes to white collar prison. Um,
There needs to be a new rule for Monopoly when a character does that. You have to put their like properties up for bid or something.
we did flip all his things to mortgage, and he was all surprised. He's like, "Why is my shit all mortgaged?"
Dude, you sold it. You didn't see it?
You needed to survive, so you mortgaged.
Dummy. Speaking of Monopoly, have you ever wanted to quit a campaign or run a character down because you weren't having fun? Starting with Jaime. Have you ever wanted to quit or run a character down, meaning just get him killed, do something stupid because you weren't having fun with him?
No, not really. There's times when you first make the character like at level 1, you're still working out the character. There's like even now with Doc, I'm at level 4. I'm still figuring some of the things out. So you do get kind of desperate and you get in that little slump. But I don't think I've gotten to the point of like, dude, I just want to kill this guy and make another one. because all the characters I've played, it's tough at first, but once you start unlocking stuff and you start seeing how you can play the character, it gets fun. Got to be creative.
Okay,
So final answer, no.
that's a good answer. Kaylee, have you ever wanted to quit or run a character down?
Um,
Where you're like, man, this character isn't what I thought
Char-
it would be. Maybe I should just get him killed.
characters specifically, no. None of your campaigns either, but in the past, underneath other people's campaigns, yes.
Ooh,
Not naming
go
names.
team.
Not not naming names. You do
Um,
who you are.
that's fair. Um, Eric, what about you?
I've done it before. I did it with Novander.
Yes, I remember.
Uh,
You ran the Vander down.
I did. I got really frustrated because one of our other players was hardlining this just obnoxiously evil character. Like would kill people like NPCs left and right. It was just absurd. So I mean I was frustrated with it as a player, but even in game, like my character tried to talk to the other character and me through that to the other player, but there's really no moving, no budging, and I got to a point where I couldn't figure out how to not like have a contentious experience with that other player's character. So I ended up choosing a new one. Then she got pulled off a ferry or something and got eaten or something like that.
She got eaten by the white dragon, I believe.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, you got a better character after that. You had Agar.
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely a thing players. I think they should be able to do it, but I mean, it has a huge impact on the game for everybody involved. It's not just you getting a new character, a better character, or whatever, because it changes your character's experience with everybody else. It has a pretty huge impact on your role playing.
Yeah, because you're changing everything basically.
Yeah, right.
Steven, you ever wanted to run a character down or quit?
Not yet. I haven't had that many characters. Wait,
Vala.
no, I didn't want to offer. I love Vala.
I thought you did, because isn't she the one that changed into the other chick?
No,
Which campaign where like she died and then another chick like became your character?
That was Daniel's
In
campaign,
campaign.
wasn't it?
No.
Well, it wasn't Vala, and I haven't played that many. I like. There's only 2 chicks I played, other than the.
Didn't Vala die though?
No.
I mean, happily in her bed way
one that
later
you
in
killed
life
off
after the
because you
campaign,
felt like
but
everyone was relying on her.
Naomi?
Yes.
It was Daniel's campaign.
Oh, then yeah.
So then, yeah, kind of. I liked Leomi, but it wasn't so much because of the character. Just I got tired of having to be the leader.
That's how you still ended up the leader.
Because I felt like in that campaign I was like the only one talking anytime there was an NPC talking. So my character just kind of naturally became the leader, and I just didn't want to be that. That wasn't my goal for that character, and it was really frustrating.
My character was too busy starting their own club and taking care of Bubbles the goat.
But other than that, because it wasn't even the character, so other than that, no, I haven't yet, just because I haven't played that many characters, and I've been pretty fortunate with the ones I've chosen that I've actually really liked.
okay. Jaime,
Yes.
have you ever wanted to quit or run a character down?
No.
Great.
You sound like your voice cracked in there. Was that a lie?
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, I can't say that
Oh yeah, we
I have.
did
Oh,
we
did I go first?
yeah, did you go first? Yeah.
I did. I did go first. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we got you.
I was like, I feel like
I was like, it's
I'm
either you or
fucking
me. Um,
deja vu.
deja vu. Punch myself in the
Get
temple.
out of my
Get
head!
out. I I've never wanted to quit a campaign, but like Eric has, I've ran a character down before. Just kind of was like over this character. It happened in Bleach. I made a piece of shit character, and he was just a piece of shit. And I was like, I hate this guy. Like, I hate him. I would kill him if I was in this world. And
Which character was it?
it was the one that made Makoto mentally handicapped. Through that prank, he fucking dropped a weight on his head. And I was like,
Oh
man, this
fuck!
dude's a piece of shit.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
changed characters in Bleach. And he became and my new character is Makoto's best friend. I had him as like my secretary when I became captain. So yeah, I've ran a character down before for sure. But it's definitely not something you want to make a habit of. Because it has big implications for the DM.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
have to like write that shit in and out. And killing off characters willy-nilly like that kind of defeats the purpose of the world. If you're trying to create a world where life matters.
To this day, I still feel bad for that campaign with we
Eric?
had yeah,
How we just sabotaged them.
and we had
Hmm?
the sky ship. And
When we
Oh,
ran
yeah.
your carrier
Oh, my
campaign into
gosh.
the ground.
Oh, I had no idea what to do.
That was
Yeah.
mean of us. I
It
still
just
feel
like
bad about that.
we all got hot headed and we wanted to do certain things and it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't because
And
I wasn't
then
having fun. It was just we all wanted different things.
we all wanted different things, but we all wanted to achieve it like then like it was like no, me first kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then I remember the ship crashed. And I was like, haha, I'm still alive. I had like 6 points. Scotty comes crawling up to me, fucking blast me, and I die. And then they
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because we had
Good
the highest
time.
hit points. Yeah. That was a shame. It's a shame when it happens.
Yeah. Live and
Especially
learn.
if you're a person who doesn't get to play in another campaign because that happens because like the DM quits. Instead of being like a
Well,
good DM and just going, ugh, and just shaking it off, like that didn't stop you. You still DM'd after that, Eric. You didn't let that
yeah.
stop you, which is a good thing. Because that shit happens. It's happened to me before. And it feels like shit when it happens, but it happens. And you live and learn, like Jaime said. Here's a fun one. Let's start with Kaylee. What character traits do you hate and never use in any of your characters? And when you see it, you're just like, fuck that character.
I don't know. Overall, I did try playing a bard for my very first character ever, and I just didn't like it.
You just
I
didn't
don't
like the
know.
concept of it?
Yeah, it was like I prefer more of like the action type characters. I also what did I just had another one off the top of my head. Come back to me. I had one.
That's fine. Just ding in anytime. So, let's go to your significant other, Steven. What character traits do you hate, and you refuse to use in any of your characters?
For the like, it kind of goes back into what you guys were just talking about a little bit, like lawful evil type characters that are just fucking, just NPC killers, stuff like that. Other than that, I really don't have an issue with, at least not that I can think of any type of trait that. I don't think I really would have an issue with playing any of them. But again, I haven't played a whole lot yet, so there could be still a point in time where I play something and I'm like, or see somebody play something, and I'd be like, this is terrible, and I hate it.
I know what I was gonna say. It's not a trait, but it goes along with like the whole bard thing. Is it a sorcerer that has to memorize a lot of spells?
It's wizards
Wiz-
that memorize their spells.
Wizards. Yeah, you'll never see me playing that.
Wizards and
Only
clerics.
because like being a mom and with my career, it's like there's a million things I have to remember throughout the day. That's the last thing I want to do is remember all these spells. So that's why I like more of the action ones.
I'm a martial guy myself. I like hacky slashy. I think it's fun.
Character traits, though. No, I have plenty of personalities. I could fit any character trait.
Yeah, like I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe like the ones that are too happy-go-lucky, but I could see myself playing that with a joke character, and I'd really enjoy it.
I could play that one if I drink enough.
Like I've brought this up on the podcast before. Freaking the Goblin Barbarian I want to play. He's gonna be like super happy-go-lucky, but he will die in the campaign because he's gonna be so enthusiastic and ready to go. He's gonna charge in a battle head on and die.
That's an interesting one. And Goblin Barbarian.
Yeah,
He thinks
I've
he's
talked
an
about it on the
orc, right?
podcast before. What's that?
He thinks he's an orc, right?
Yeah, correct.
I know the character trait I would never play. You know, like in those cartoons where it says, don't press this button?
Yeah.
The character that pressed the fucking button. That's the one I will never play.
The girl that looks down the dark hallway in the horror movie and goes, "Let's go down that hallway."
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Although I would probably go down the dark hallway, but the button I wouldn't push.
Yeah, you were the first person to, even though in the last campaign in my base world, my D&D world, she played a rogue and she would find the traps, but would never be the first person to go through them. Like she would disarm a door and still be like, "Okay, go ahead." Like,
Yeah, that's just smart.
That just said Daniel's character.
it saved her once, I think.
I 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, it did save her.
I think there was one scenario where it did save her. But I tried not to make that a running thing where it was just like a trap beyond the trap.
The one I will never forget is when I was trying to go up to the door to check it for traps, but Daniel's character is either Buck or Doe decides to just go full on, try to yank it open, and like ruins everyone's health down that hallway. That's the one I will never forget. That I will forever be pissed off about.
He triggered a trap before he could fix it.
Yes.
I still remember the trap that Eric went and opened up a door and it prismatic sprayed and killed Chanel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember that. When you said that, like, Chanel make a fortitude save. Oh no!
And then I was like, wait, you're drow, and it bypassed her magic resistance. That was a sad day. Eric, is there a character trait you hate and will never use?
A character trait. Use. I sometimes find it's hard to make a greedy character. I know that sounds kind of lame, but
Yeah. I was just going to say, I'll lump my answer in right now with Eric and queuing on this. I'm going to say the same thing. I find it hard, even in games, to be like, even in like KOTOR and shit, I always turn down rewards because I'm like, dude, I'm finding so much shit to sell. I don't need like rewards. Like, keep your money. I'll do this for just because.
Me playing Diablo when Eric started playing. I'm like, dude, Eric, I have so much shit to just give it so you could sell it. Because I had like millions in gold, and I was like, I don't need gold. I was just carrying a bunch of stuff in my bags to give to Eric so he can sell it and make more money.
Yeah, and my characters in D&D always split. Every gold I pick up, I always split with the party. Even if I was the one that found it in the dungeon in a separate room, I still portion it off and go, okay, here's your guys' we found 10 gold. There's 5 of us. Everybody gets 2. Here you go. And if
Or
it's
you
odd,
have,
I take the least amount. I'll take some silver.
or you have Jade's character who just wants it all and tries to get Vala to carry her stuff
Yeah,
because she's
exactly.
too small to carry it herself.
Um, yeah, that was a good answer, Eric. And I agree. Jaime, what character trait do you hate and will never use?
Uh,
Hate's maybe a strong word. Dislike, whatever you want to use. Whatever negative word you
can't,
want to use.
I can't think of one top of my head, but I don't like. I personally wouldn't do like the follow order, not follow orders, like follow the rule kind of thing, character wise.
Like the lawful good character.
Yeah, like a paladin. I could never see myself playing a paladin.
I love
As
paladins.
as much as I would try and work it, I don't think I could.
It's fun and challenging playing lawful good. That's why I like it. I like
I would
playing a
agree
good
that
that
it's challenging.
I'd like to play a good that can't exist in this world.
Oh, rip.
It's true. Nobody lawful good exists in this world. Nobody.
Uh, Me, dude. Steven, you laughing does not help my case.
He's like, dude, shut up. I'm trying to confuse him.
I'm trying to sell a picture, you know.
I'm trying to, sell my position here.
I'm trying to buy my way into heaven.
Let's go back the other way then, starting with Jaime. What's a character trait you love and find yourself using often in your characters?
Violence.
Yeah. Well, that just
Violence.
that's part and parcel for the game, though.
Yeah, but I, well, my character and any character that I played when battle starts going south, violence has to come in. I tend to do some pretty good damage, I find a way to make my character work pretty good and kill shit.
So you like making effective characters.
Yeah, I like building tanks.
But you're a sniper now.
Now, yeah, but I mean, I'm sniping from the back. I'm tanking from the back. I'm
He's
that.
verbally a tank.
What was that? What's that deadly sniper called? The white ghost or something? What was it? Whatever it was called?
Yeah, dude, that killed like 50 people or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, white death. Yeah, those are confirmed kills.
Um, fucking Jaime. Eric, what's a character trait you find yourself using often and you enjoy?
Um, like, I know this is kind of just reductive, but um, not essentially a character trait. But I like lawful characters. I think I gravitate towards them more often. I I think in a role playing setting, it's difficult for me to try to create a chaotic character. So I get into a habit of overthinking, like reactions and whatnot. But uh, it's feels a little bit more easy sometimes to be a lawful character than trying to have to think about how to be a chaotic character because I don't know how to be a chaotic character without like sitting down and like, oh, what do I do?
You just gotta drink.
You just have to act with no inhibitions.
Unless you're Hemingway.
Dude, Hemingway
Yeah.
would punch his fucking critics. He'd go to their houses
Right?
and punch
Drunk,
them.
edit sober.
Hemingway was dope. Yeah, I like lawful characters. I like characters that have structure, where they have a tenet or something that makes sense. It grounds them, I feel, to the world. Um, Kaylee, what's a character trait you gravitate towards, you use often in your characters?
I kind of want to say the whole Heart of Gold aspect, but I know there's a couple of characters that weren't like that, like Jade.
Most of your characters are cocky.
Yeah, Jade was very selfish.
Cockiness.
Cockiness would be
That's
your
the
number
word I'm looking
your
for.
number one use trait. To your
That's similar to Heart of Gold.
No, it's not.
To me, it is.
cocky, pompous, greedy.
Not all my characters are greedy. Agatha's not greedy. I would say they're not cocky. They're confident.
Yeah, Steven, you're being sexist. Just because she's a woman, it's cocky.
Yes.
She can't be confident. It's 2023. You're gonna get us canceled.
What's the freaking
We're woke now.
saying I saw recently? It was like I'm not sexist. Being sexist is wrong, and being wrong is for women.
It's for women.
Oh my gosh.
Before.
I told that joke to my coworker the other day. What is it? What do you tell a woman with 2 black eyes? Nothing. She's already been told twice.
Oh my gosh. Talk about getting us canceled.
I
Eric, these are just jokes.
would say along with the whole confidence aspect goes with, in a way, and I'm going to describe it intellectually, impulsive. And by that, I mean, I'm not impulsive to where I put other people in harm's way, but there's a chance, like, I'll go for it, but there's a chance I can put myself in harm's way. Like with Agatha, like, she'll run up and start smacking on people, but she won't move away, and she, on the off chance she could get hit. For the most part, she hasn't yet. If she has, it's just by a couple points, but I would say intellectually impulsive is what I'm going to call it.
Intellectually impulsive. I like
Just wait
that.
until she runs across like an intellect devourer or something. Something that like attacks other than AC.
No, I'll say that for Daniel's character.
An intellectual devourer, they'd pass him right up.
Okay.
Steven, what's a character trait you like and use very often?
So there's one I've played a couple times, and another one I haven't played yet, but I'm really interested in. The one I'm interested in, I haven't played, is like the older character who's like very wise and knows certain things and knows how to handle certain situations just from life experience. So I've been wanting to play a character like that. So he's got to be an older dude. And then the one I've played a couple times is like an evil character that's trying to be good, trying to do good. And they kind of spend the campaign trying to move that direction. And I've done that a couple times with a couple different characters, and Leomi being one of them, the one in Daniel's campaign. And then the witch I was playing in our little side campaign, Scotty. Like,
Yeah.
it was gonna be the same for her. I like that idea and that kind of redemption arc kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for redemption arcs.
Mm-hmm.
They're my favorite in wrestling, when like a wrestler would get their redemption arc. Like
Yeah.
fucking like when the Rock went corporate, or when Stone Cold went corporate and the Rock came
Yeah.
after him. It was just like I used to hate the fucking Rock. But I'm gonna say a character trait that I like and use often is probably the character that's more than they seem. Like Kihara in the CERN campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Her being a goofy shop owner, but she was more than she seemed.
Yeah.
She had the vegan cookies.
Yeah, she had vegan cookies. She had all sorts of goodies. But yeah, like the jokester that's actually very competent, like the Vash the Stampede, where he's trying to cover himself. I think that's interesting, and I use it way too much.
Has anybody been watching the new Vash?
No, I refused. The art style sucked, and I went, "This is gonna suck," and I refused.
Did you?
Of course you would. But of course.
They massacred my boy, dude. The art, I can't stand it. I can't get past it. It's
That's
like that one
fine.
fight in Naruto when Naruto's fighting Pain, and the
Oh yeah.
animation changes for no fucking reason to like goofy cartoon shit, and it's like, what is happening?
It was the same as Dragon Ball though. They had like a different animator every other episode.
It was just
The art in the episode at right when Gohan transforms to Super Saiyan 2 for the first time, I hated it. I hated the artwork. It looked terrible. I thought they all looked miserable.
yeah, the art really gets to me. That's why I don't watch even though the newer Sailor Moon, like the models, the art is like they're super skinny, like they were in the comics. They look so weird, like fucking aliens to me. Like how skinny and lanky they are. Like they don't look like real human beings. I grew up with the normal Sailor Moon
Yeah.
anime, but I guess I'm in the wrong there because the manga is the
I don't mind animations that gets like kind of subtle tweaks like that. The only animation style that they have that I cannot watch, even if the anime has great ratings, is like that subtle like 3D animation.
oh yeah.
I cannot stand it. Like there was this manga I read called A Jin, and I really liked it. So they were coming out with an anime with it, and I was stoked. And then I saw it was that animation. I'm like, nope, not watching it.
Yep, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I can't. I couldn't get into it because I'd be angry the entire episode.
It's pretty difficult to find a 3D animation style that looks really smooth.
Yeah.
So if they can make them
Janky.
appear like flat, even though they're 3D, then it'd be fine. But
Mm.
Certain
The, like-
3D stuff makes me almost pass out.
yeah, it's not.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it when it's incorporated a little bit into episodes of stuff, but when it's the entire show, I can't do it.
Yeah, that 3D shit it's so just off. It's just off. The art style looks off, and it looks weird to me. Um, moving on along to the next topic. Jaime, how do you feel about playing the opposite sex?
I don't mind it. I've played it. I played it once, but I think I'll probably play it again some other time. I mean, as a man, I'm more accustomed to playing the man, but I don't mind it. Anytime we've had cohorts, they've always been females.
That's true.
And I make them pretty good too. So I think I will. Maybe next. Who knows? Maybe next campaign I'll play as a girl. I'm a girl.
I don't know. I think it's such a flex to have like I'm the same way. Like even if I'm playing a female character, I always have a female number two because I think that's
Yeah.
such a hard flex to have such a just a powerful woman there. Just being like, "Hey, what up?" I like it. Steven, we all know how you feel about it. How do you feel about playing the opposite sex?
Yeah, I love it. I actually think I like when it comes to D&D and like even just like RPG games, I always prefer playing a female just because I like that you have a badass chick like killing shit. like
Yeah.
like
same.
I've always enjoyed that concept. So, but I try to mix in playing a male every now and then just to keep it changed up. But I love doing it. Although was my favorite character, female, and yeah, I think next campaign I'll probably go back to playing female again.
Yeah, I get a huge experience playing females, playing everybody as a DM. So I get to tickle that fancy all the time. Kaylee, what about you? Would you ever play a man?
Not necessarily, just my cohort Teddy, who is the opposite of my main character Jade. But overall, I think I prefer playing female. I like being that badass chick that kills.
Would you play a male in the future as a main character?
Maybe if it had the same impulsive tendency.
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
You're the
know.
creator of it.
If I can make one that's solid enough that I can act gone, then yes.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
So,
easy. Guys are impulsive.
so you don't have anything against it. It's just not for you.
Not at the moment.
That's
I like
fair.
being the loud female.
That's
I can
fair.
attest to that.
Even don't.
I'm a proud loud person.
Eric, what about you? How do you feel about playing the opposite sex?
I mean, it's a fantasy game, so you should feel comfortable playing whatever fantasy you want, which includes playing the opposite sex sometimes. So I'm like, for people who get really frustrated or upset about the idea of playing as the opposite sex, I think you should grow up.
Yeah. As a kid, I always used to have to play as the dude, play as the white guy. But now I'm just like, even in like when I replay Mass Effect, I'm like, dude, give me femship, dude. Like
Well, whoa.
Yeah.
in Red Dead, I was like, dude, I want a DLC where I get to play as Sadie. Sadie Adler's like the coolest character aside from Arthur and John in that game. And Charles. Charles is cool too, but Sadie's up there. I think it's getting past that point where people are against it. I mean, most people want to be some weird fucking like no gendered fucking tiefling nowadays. So
Yeah.
who the fuck knows? Who cares about playing just an average run of the mill woman or man? Um, if you DM, I will say you get a lot of experience playing all sorts of different characters, though. Which is why I suggest everybody try it at least once,
Yeah,
just for
I'm too
funsies.
I'm too dumb.
definitely worth it.
You don't even, Jaime, you don't even have to have any combat take place. It could be all role playing. Then you just trick your players. Um, let's 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 finish strong with one last topic. Let's make it a callback. Let's call it. It's Am I the Asshole? D&D edition. I'm gonna post a link for our commenters here in the Discord so they can follow along. But I will read for the benefit of the listeners. Um,
And me.
and Jaime, because he can't read. So I don't know why he's putting his age here, but I, a 32-year-old male, am a forever DM who has been playing for nearly a decade now, and love DMing complex and nuanced world heavy on roleplay. Some time ago, I started putting together a new campaign that I was proud of, an amalgamation of all the lore building and writing skills I've developed. I invited a few longtime friends, players and friends, and seeking to make up numbers to a party of 4, we included a friend, 37 male, of one of the players. From the get-go, he was a bit odd, super secretive about his character, and kept telling me he had a story he was going to tell, but he wouldn't let me in on what he had in mind, despite me being the DM. And honestly, the snippets I did get seemed like run-of-the-mill white savior Mary Sue shit. He also kept adding elements to his story that involved dictating how certain parts of the metaphysics slash magic worked in the world, despite that being a core element to the story. We pushed through creation, and on the first session, at the first sign of any conflict with NPCs, fisherman who wanted to purchase one of the party members, a talking crab, he decided to let all hell break loose and lightning bolt the group of innocent fishermen. What followed was the party attempting to flee, and when cornered and given the option to surrender, so I can get this shit under control, he decided to escalate again and attack the guard captain requesting their surrender. I ended this session normally, but shortly after I sent him a message saying I wasn't comfortable with how he played the game and that I didn't want him to continue. He told me I was an asshole and that I should give him more chances, but even when we talked through alternative things he could have done, they were all some version of establish my dominance through violence. Am I being the asshole for not even trying? I don't know the guy. He's just some dude to me. I also used to run D&D as therapy for teens and childs with autism. Whilst I witnessed a lot of cringe during this, A, I was getting paid for it, and B, eliciting cringe was an intended goal of therapy, breaking down in social situations out of game, and C, the kids were always super receptive to feedback. None of this was true for this guy, and I couldn't just be asked with it. Am I the asshole for not having any patience and just booting him after session 1? Thoughts, table?
Oh,
No.
I would say if he wasn't willing to change, then no.
Yeah, no. I mean, it doesn't sound like he didn't try. It sounded like he said he messaged him a few times and talked to him, and the dude wasn't willing to change anything. It's like if he's not willing to change or work with the DM, it's like, sorry, dude. I mean, I got to run this campaign, and you're not going to help it run smoothly. I'm with the DM. Like that dude wasn't willing to work with him.
Jaime, Eric.
No, he's not an asshole. That 37-year-old dude is an asshole. Even with us, like when we have a plan, we kind of like give you a hint about it.
Except for
If we
Steven.
know it-
Steven always gets stuck in situations where he's like, damn it, I had a plan. And everybody always ruins it.
It's because I'm trying not to metagame, so it's like.
If like, nah, this dude's not being an asshole. That other dude is just a child. He's a baba.
He's a little babbin.
Yeah, 37-year-old Babin.
Big Irk.
Yeah, I mean, if you're contentious with other party members from the get-go, it's gonna be a real problem.
Yeah, I kind of don't want you at my table if you're going to be starting shit with the other players.
Right.
Like, legitimate shit. Like, just kind of poking jokes at each other, fine, but...
It just seems so
legitimately-
unnecessary.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I rob him. Dude,
Yeah.
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 come on. I'm in agreement that DM's not the asshole. He didn't seem like he was being a control freak in any sort. He was just trying to keep his fucking game under control.
Yeah, exactly. And that dude was not going to let it run smoothly.
No, he was
What an asshole.
antithetical to it. He was the asshole. So I think that's another unanimous down the board. Fucking, not the asshole on the DM's part. Kick that fucker from
Correct.
the group. Get him the fuck out of here.
It's got to say something that when that DM could handle all those kids and then couldn't handle that dude one day.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, that 37-year-old was a dickhead.
No, Steven. Not a dickhead. An asshole.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Two different body parts. Asshole.
Yeah. Some fucking asshole behind you talking shit. Alrighty. I think we covered a nice wide range of topics here tonight. We got a nice new banner for the podcast. New people on here. We talked about a lot of shit. I had a lot of fun. Jaime said off podcast we got to get like a full house one day where it's like everybody,
Yeah.
so we can
Yeah.
all argue at Daniel while he's here.
We got some good questions that it would be better to have the whole group. Sorry, I was stretching and I couldn't think straight.
We'll just have to make sure Daniel pops like 5-hour energies before the podcast.
Just give them 2 Benadryls.
Give him 2 Benadryl.
Remember what happened last time? He took two, or two. No, he took. You know, he did take 2 because was saying Chanel takes 4, so he figured half of that would be good.
Well, like
Oh my
Daniel,
God,
it
what-
acts different for people.
Yes, 1 Benadryl puts like my sister and my mom to sleep, and 1
You
does
think
nothing to me. 2 is when I just start to feel it, like clear my allergies.
See, I'm so sensitive where half a dose of children's Benadryl puts me to sleep. So I can't take NyQuil or else I feel drugged the whole day after.
But yeah, one session we played, Daniel took 2 Benadryl and drank like 2 beers.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, you're a fucking...
You don't remember that? Yeah. It was at our place.
Oh, was it?
It was
Yeah,
at your place.
it was at your old place.
'Cause I was sitting next
I
to him.
was videoing Daniel
room
falling
when
He was like
asleep.
nodding off, and I was getting super pissed at him.
Yeah.
As usual.
I was filming it while it was happening.
Yeah, because I took a picture of him, and you sent a picture to Chanel, and she's like, "God damn it!"
Another reason for her to beat Daniel.
Love you,
But
baby.
yeah, time I did the intro, I'll do the outro. This has been Dude No Metagaming. I've been Scotty. I'm still gonna be Scotty when I leave, but for right now, I've been
I was
Scotty.
just about to be like, are you gonna change your name?
You know what? I'm going down to the office. I'm gonna get changed to Max Powers because I don't think
Oh,
Scotty's
dude.
good enough. But I've been Scotty. With me's been Eric,
Good night.
Steven, and Kaylee.
Soon to be Chad Ochocinco. That's my next name.
Oh, dude. Lucky.
My name's still Kaylee.
And Jaime.
Can I change my name just to Center?
No.
No.
You can change it to Jimmy, and that's it.
Damn. Jimmy J, maybe?
Jimmy J.
Triple J?
Johns.
Triple J? No?
Yeah.
We'll take
J
all right,
cubed.
Triple J. J cubed. Aha.
That's your rap name. But yeah, and until next time, we're out of here.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.